Hi Nana. We have started a new lesson, study of gas laws. So in this, we have finished one question bank. Okay, we have covered few questions. Now we will go with the question bank 2. Okay. So in this, we will discuss from the third question onwards. What is the third question? So in the third questions, there are certain statements. Some statements are given. Okay, statements given below are incorrect. Okay, so some statements are given. Nearly 5 or 6 statements are given. Okay, so I have written only one statement now. Okay, so those statements are incorrect. So we have to write the correct statements. So first of all, we will go with the first statement. What is this first statement? Temperature remain constant. That means temperature is remain constant. Even mass also will remain constant. Okay, so temperature remains constant. The volume of a fixed mass. Fixed mass and what is the meaning of fixed mass? Fixed mass means same mass. That means the mass is not changed. It is fixed. That means mass is constant. So generally, if there are any terms which are constant, simply we will put in the bracket. Okay, that means here temperature and mass of the gas are fixed. That means they are constant. Now here the volume of a fixed mass of gas. So volume is directly proportional to pressure. Volume is directly proportional to pressure when these two are kept constant. So this is the meaning of this statement. So this according to this one, so it is incorrect one. So this is incorrect and we have to write the correct statement. So what is the correct statement then? Volume is directly proportional to pressure. So this is wrong. Volume is inversely proportional to pressure. Always remember that volume is inversely proportional to pressure. That means if pressure is increased, volume decreases. If pressure is decreased, volume increases. So like that. So pressure and volume, they are inversely related to each other. That means they are inversely proportional to each other. But here in the question, in this statement, it is given as volume is directly proportional to pressure. So this is wrong. And this is wrong and this is the right one. Okay, so under conditions of temperature and mass, when these two are constants, then volume of the gas is always inversely proportional to pressure. Simply suppose, and this experiment already we have seen in our previous video. Once again I am explaining that. Suppose if this is the volume of the gas, I have taken certain volume of the gas in a vessel, in a container. Okay, now I have fixed a piston to this one. Okay, I have fixed a piston. I can move this piston up and down also. Okay, this is called as piston. This portion is called as piston. I can move it. I can push this piston into the vessel, or else I can take out the piston also. So now initially I have taken this much volume of the gas. What is the volume of the gas? Now this is this much volume of the gas I have taken. So slowly so now some pressure. So there is some pressure on the gas. There is some pressure on the gas. Now if I slowly press this piston down, that means, so if I press this piston, what happens? So pressure is applied on the gas. More pressure is applied on the gas. So that what happens? All the gas molecules, they will come and occupy this area only. Okay. Slowly, what happens? All the molecules will come closer and closer as I push this piston down and down. Okay. What happens? So now this piston, it has come down from here to here it came. So what happened? So before that all the molecules were occupying this much volume. Now these molecules, they have occupied only less volume. So now the new volume is this one. Okay, so this is the new volume. Here, what did I do? I have applied pressure. I have increased the pressure on the gas. So when the pressure on the gas is increased, what is happening to the volume? So initially this much volume is there. That gas, this much volume of gas, it has become only this much volume. That means there is a decrease in volume. So that means volume is decreased. When pressure on the gas is increased, volume always will decrease. So that means when two things are like this, so then the relationship between these two are said to be inversely related. So that means volume is inversely proportional to pressure. So this is the correct statement. Volume is inversely proportional to pressure. So we have to write this statement. So how to correct this statement? Simply, if I put instead of directly proportion, I have to write inversely. Okay, so this is wrong. So temperature remaining constant, the volume of a fixed mass of gas is inversely proportional to pressure. So the statement should be written like this, and it should be expressed like this. Okay, so the meaning of this one is, so this one if I write mathematically, I can write like this. Volume is inversely proportional to pressure. If I write like this, it indicates that directly proportion. But this is wrong. So volume is always inversely proportional to pressure. Hence this is right one. Okay, so instead of directly, we have to write inversely. Okay, so that is a here there is a correction here. So we have to write instead of directly, so you have to write inversely proportional to pressure. So that is the correct statement. Next, statement 2. So we have corrected the first statement. So now this is the correct form of the statement. Next, another statement. What is another statement? Pressure remains constant. Pressure remaining constant. Okay, pressure remaining constant. Okay, the volume of a fixed mass of gas. The volume of a fixed mass of gas. Okay, pressure remaining constant. The volume of a fixed mass of gas. Okay, the volume of a fixed mass of gas is inversely proportional to Celsius temperature. Is inversely proportional to Celsius temperature. So this is the statement. Okay, so this statement is wrong statement. This is incorrect statement. Now we have to correct this statement. So where the correction is needed? See, pressure remaining constant and fixed mass. So mass is also constant. Under these two conditions, so when pressure, so what are different variables? Volume, temperature, pressure. So these are the different variables. So if one variable is kept constant, then the other two variables, okay, they will vary. So here pressure is kept constant. So that means, pressure remaining constant. The volume of a fixed mass of gas is, so when pressure is constant, so how the relation it is mentioned in this statement? Volume of a fixed mass of gas is inversely proportional to Celsius temperature. Volume is inversely proportional to Celsius temperature. So according to this statement, so it should be like this. But this is incorrect. Okay. See, always volume, we have to compare the volume with Kelvin temperature. Volume with absolute temperature we have to compare. Okay, so here it is mentioned as Celsius temperature. So don't take At any cost, don't take Celsius temperature. See, generally Celsius temperature is denoted with a small t, and absolute temperature it is denoted with capital T. Absolute temperature is also called as Kelvin temperature. So always we have to use Kelvin temperature in the statements, and even for the calculation purpose also we have to use Kelvin temperatures. Okay now. So that means, so here Celsius temperature, there is a correction here, we need to correct it. So we have to write it as Kelvin temperature instead of Celsius. We have to write Kelvin temperature. And one more thing, the most important thing is, see, volume is always directly proportional to Kelvin temperature. It is not inversely proportional to temperature. Suppose, listen carefully. Here, suppose this is a vessel, this is a piston. Okay, this is the piston, and in this vessel I have poured some gas. I have kept some gas in this vessel. Okay, now the volume of the gas is this much. This much volume of gas is present in the vessel. So now here this gas is under certain temperature. Now the gas is under certain temperature. So now the temperature is gas. It is some value. Now if I want to increase the temperature of this one, what should I do? Simply, if I want to increase the temperature, I have to heat it. If I heat this one, what happens? The temperature of the gas increases. So when I heat this one, what happens? All the molecules, all the gas molecules, they will absorb heat energy. Every gas molecule will absorb heat energy, and as they absorb heat energy, they will gain some of their there will be increase in the kinetic energy of the molecules. What is the meaning of increase in kinetic energy? That means, suppose if the molecules, if they are moving very slowly from one place to another place, because they possess some kinetic energy. As they possess some kinetic energy, they will move slowly from one place to another place. Suppose if I give more kinetic energy to every particle or else every molecule, what happens? Its kinetic energy, if it increases, this particle will try to move very fastly. Whenever the kinetic energy of the molecule increases, those molecules will move very, very fastly. So now if I heat it, what happens? The kinetic energy of the molecules will increase. Whenever the kinetic energy of the molecule will increase, all the molecules, they will move away from each other. They will move very fastly and they will move away from each other. As a result of this one, they will try to move away from each other. So what happens? These molecules, they will try to push this. They will try to push this piston away. So that what happens? The piston will move up. The piston will move up. Okay, now the new position of the piston will be here. So this place is also occupied by the gas molecules. Okay, now these gas molecules are occupying this much volume. Before that, only this much volume was occupied. Now the molecules are occupying this much. So there is an increase in volume. So whenever temperature is increased, temperature of the molecule is increased, volume of the gas is also increased. So that means such a relationship is said to be directly relationship. So here volume is directly proportional to absolute temperature. Volume is directly proportional to Kelvin temperature. Kelvin temperature is also called as absolute temperature. So that means this is wrong. This statement is wrong. Where the correction is necessary. So here the correction is necessary in this area. Inversely proportion is wrong. It is always directly proportional to absolute temperature. Volume is directly proportional to Kelvin temperature, okay, or absolute temperature. Because if you if you raise the temperature of the gas, what happened? The volume of the gas, before that the volume was this much only. Now the volume of the gas is increased. Okay, volume of the gas is increased. So that means whenever the temperature is raised, volume is increasing. So that means these two are directly proportional to each other. Okay, so when any two things are directly proportional to each other, then in such case if one thing is increased, if the quantity of one thing is increased, then the quantity of other thing also will increase. Okay, then only these two are said to be directly proportional to each other. So here always remember that volume and temperature, these two are directly proportional to each other. So this relationship was given by whom? A scientist known as Charles. Okay, Charles Jacques Charles. Okay, a scientist known as Jacques Charles has given the relationship between volume and temperature. Which temperature? The temperature should not be Celsius temperature. It should be Kelvin temperature. Okay, right. So here the correction is needed. Here and here also the correction is needed. So instead of inversely proportional, so what we have to write? We have to write directly proportion. You have to write directly proportional to which temperature? Directly proportional to Kelvin temperature. Okay, so here we made a correction and here also we made a correction. Okay, so now this is the correct statement. Now this is the correct statement. So pressure remaining constant, the volume, pressure remaining constant, volume of fixed mass of gas is directly proportional to Kelvin temperature. So that is a correct statement, and that statement is given by Jacques Charles. And this statement is given by Robert Boyle. Okay, right. So now this is the correct form of the Charles law, and this is the corrected statement. Now third statement. What is the third statement? The 0 degree Celsius is the temperature the 0 degree Celsius is the temperature at which at which 0 degree Celsius is the temperature at which molecules of a gas have zero kinetic energy. Zero kinetic energy. Okay, so this is the statement given. Okay, now we need to correct this statement. So molecules possess zero kinetic energy. Already we have seen what is kinetic energy. Whenever molecules possess kinetic energy, they will try to move. Because of the presence of kinetic energy in every molecule, they will move. If kinetic energy is not there, then the molecules does not move. Zero kinetic energy. What is the meaning of zero kinetic energy? Whenever molecules possess zero kinetic energy, they stop moving, they stop vibrating, or else they stop moving. They simply be in their place only without moving. They stop moving from one place to another place. At what temperature the kinetic energy of the molecules will become zero? At what temperature? When the temperature it is 0 Kelvin temperature. When the temperature is 0 Kelvin means 0 Kelvin. Don't write 0 degrees Kelvin. We should not mention, for Kelvin temperature we should not mention degrees. Okay, so 0 Kelvin is equal to minus 273 degrees centigrade. If you mention centigrade, then we have to mention degrees. For Kelvin we should not mention degree. Okay, so Kelvin 0 means 0 Kelvin, which is also equal to minus 273 degrees centigrade. But here it is mentioned as 0 degrees centigrade or Celsius, we may use anything. Okay, so minus 273 at minus 273 degrees Celsius, the molecules will have zero kinetic energy. But here in the question, in the statement, 0 degrees Celsius. So that is wrong. 0 degrees Celsius. This is wrong. Okay. So 0 kinetic energy. Molecules possess 0 kinetic energy under this condition. That means we may change this one. Okay, we may change as either 0. We may, instead of 0, we may write this much, this value, or else we may change the entire thing like this and put 0 Kelvin. If you want to keep in degrees centigrade, in degrees Celsius, then we have to put this number minus 273. Or else if you want to change this entire thing, we can change this entire thing also by using, instead of 0 degree Kelvin, 0 degrees Celsius, we may use 0 Kelvin. So the 0 Kelvin is the temperature at which molecules of the gas have 0 kinetic energy. So that is also correct. Okay, so we may replace only this 0 by minus 273, or else we may replace this entire, these 3 words with 0 Kelvin. Okay. So how to correct this one? So the correct form of this one will be like this. So here minus 273 minus 273 degree Kelvin, minus 273 degree Kelvin, minus 273 degrees Celsius is the correct temperature at which molecules of the gas have 0 kinetic energy. Or else we may write like this also. The 0 Kelvin. The 0 Kelvin. Okay, the 0 Kelvin. The 0 Kelvin is the temperature. Okay, temperature at which what happens? At which molecules of gas do not move. Molecules of the gas do not move, or else molecules of gas have 0 kinetic energy. 0 kinetic energy. So even this is also correct statement. So either this one is correct and even this also is correct. But we should not use 0 degrees Celsius. So 0 degrees Celsius means it is at 0 degrees Celsius molecules they possess some kinetic energy. Molecules they move. Okay, at 0 degrees Celsius molecules will move. Hence that is not the correct answer. Okay, so we have to correct either 0 as minus 273, or else we may correct this entire thing instead of these 3 words we may use 0 Kelvin. So even this is also correct. Right. Next statement in the third question is D. Statement D. Okay. So what is the statement D? What the correct answer? First, let us see what is statement D, and afterwards we will correct it. Okay. Statement D. Rising temperature of 1 Kelvin. Rise in temperature. Rising temperature of 1 Kelvin. Rising temperature of 1 Kelvin is equal to rise in temperature. Rising temperature of 274 degrees centigrade. So this is a wrong statement. This is incorrect statement. Okay, so how to correct this statement? We have to already we have discussed something, a formula. We have to recall that formula. X degree centigrade is equal to 273 plus x Kelvin. X degree centigrade is equal to 273 plus x Kelvin. Suppose if I take x as 10, then 10 degree centigrade. 10 degree centigrade will be equal to how much? So instead of x, if x is equal to 10, then 10 degree centigrade will be equal to 283 Kelvin. Or else, if I increase the degree centigrade, if I raise the degree centigrade by 1 unit, that means if I take x equal to 11, that means I have raised the degree centigrade. I have raised the value of degree centigrade by 1 unit. That means there is a rise in temperature of 1 degree centigrade. Okay, so if I raise the temperature of by 1 degree centigrade, then here instead of here if I take x as 11, then it will become what? 284 Kelvin. So 11 plus 273, it will become 284. See, look here, how much the raise in Kelvin value, Kelvin temperature. So there is only 1 degree Kelvin. 1 Kelvin. There is a rise of only 1 Kelvin. So rise in temperature of 1 Kelvin is equal to how much rise in degree centigrade? Only 1 degree centigrade rise. So 1 Kelvin rise in if the increase in temperature of Kelvin scale by 1 Kelvin, it will make the increase in temperature of the degree centigrade by 1 degree centigrade. Okay, so that means whenever the Kelvin temperature is raised by 1 unit, then degree centigrade temperature also will be raised by only 1 unit. But here in the question, it is equal to rise in temperature of 274 units. So this is wrong. So instead of 274 units, if I write 1 degree centigrade, then it will become the correct statement. Okay, so based on this formula, we can write this statement, we can correct that statement. So whenever there is a rise in temperature by 1 degree centigrade, then there will be a rise in the temperature by 1 Kelvin. Okay, if there is a rise in temperature by 1 Kelvin, then there will be rise in temperature by 1 degree centigrade. If I raise that temperature by 2 Kelvin, then there will be rise in the temperature by 2 degree centigrade. Okay, if I raise that Kelvin value by 3 units, then the temperature, the centigrade value also will rise by 3 units. So like this. So the rise in temperature in Kelvin scale will always be equal to the rise in temperature in centigrade scale. Okay, rise in temperature in Kelvin scale is always equal to rise in temperature on centigrade scale. Okay, right. We will look into the next statement. So this is the correct form of statement. So previously it was mentioned as 274, so it was wrong. So I have corrected here. So here I made a correction. Right. So now this is the correct form of the statement. Next statement E. The standard pressure of a gas is the standard pressure of a gas is 760 centimeters of mercury. 760 centimeters of mercury. So here this is wrong. So this is a wrong statement, because always standard pressure is equal to 1 atmosphere pressure. When atmosphere pressure is taken as the standard pressure, which is also equal to 76 centimeters of mercury. Hg means mercury. So 76 centimeters of mercury, or else 760 millimeters of mercury. Okay, so that is so this is called as standard pressure. Standard pressure we may measure either in atmosphere or centimeters of mercury, or else even in millimeters of mercury. If you take standard pressure in millimeters of mercury, then the value will be 760. Okay, if you take the standard pressure in centimeters of mercury, the value should be 76. But here in the question, in this statement, it is given as 760 centimeters. 760 centimeters of mercury. So it is wrong. So if you take centimeters of mercury, the value should be 76. Okay, if the standard pressure is expressed in centimeters of mercury, then the value should be 76. If you want to express the standard pressure in millimeters of mercury, then the value should be 760. Okay, so here it is mentioned as 760 and centimeters of mercury. If you mention it as 760, then this is wrong. So what should be the correct thing? So either this one or this one or this one will be the correct thing. So I will make a correction here. 760 millimeters of mercury or 76 centimeters of mercury. Okay, 76 centimeters of mercury. So here if I correct here, then I have to write, if I correct here, I have to write 76. If I correct here, I have to write centimeters of mercury. So here this is correct. We have to either express in this way or else in this way we have to express. Okay, so in other ways, it will be wrong. It will become wrong statement. Okay, remember that 76 centimeters of mercury or else 760 millimeters of mercury will be taken as the standard pressure, or else we may take 1 atmosphere pressure also. Or else, there are some other units of pressures also known as bar, etc. Okay, even bar, we can express the standard pressure in terms of bar or else in terms of torrs, etc. We'll discuss about those things in the coming, in the higher classes. Okay, right. So these are all the statements. Okay, so we have corrected those statements. We'll learn the other things in the next video. Okay, bye.